The Aqara GH2 is one of the cutest HomeKit cameras coming this year. Is it worth importing this from China rather than waiting for the international version? In this video, we're going to help you answer that question. Hey guys, Chris Young here from HomeKit Geek, the channel where we bring you new smart home content every single week, looking at Apple HomeKit, Amazon, Madam A, Google, and anything I find interesting. If you guys find that interesting, do me a favor, consider subscribing below and ring that bell so you get notified when new videos are posted. In this video, we're looking at the Aqara GH2. This is the Chinese edition of this camera. So this camera is super cute, as you can see, and available in multiple colors. I got the yellow one, which I like to call the Minion. So the GH2 is a HomeKit Secure video camera. It is a HomeKit camera. It'll support other ecosystems as well. And it is also a Zigbee hub. So you're going to be able to pair your existing Aqara accessories, or most of them at least, to the GH2. So as I mentioned, I'm actually looking at the Chinese version. So this was an import. You can get these on Banggood, on GearBest, AliExpress. You can import them in. They're probably somewhere between $50 to $100 with import, all that kind of thing, which is not a bad deal for a HomeKit Secure video camera. But there are some things that you're going to want to be aware of. Number one, and this might be a deal breaker for some of you, the camera is set in Chinese language mode. So any of the camera announcements, when you triple tap on top of it to pair devices, all of that is being read out in Chinese. So that might be a deal breaker for you. It might not be. I'll totally leave that up to you guys, but it is something to be aware of, that at least currently, as of the posting of this video, there is no ability to change the camera into English mode. So number two, not all accessories on the GH2 are going to be supported or exposed out to HomeKit. So most of them you're going to be okay with. I have tried temperature sensors from both the Aqara line and the Xiaomi line of temperature sensors. Flood sensors work, but interestingly enough, the North American plugs that I've got as part of my Aqara, the Aqara startup kit just don't work. They will pair to the GH2, but they will never be exposed out to HomeKit. So again, something else you're going to want to be aware of. If you're looking at this to replace your existing Aqara hub, this might not be the right product for you if you have the North American plugs, at least at this time. So number three, the other thing that I think is an important thing to be aware of is it's not really clear yet what Aqara's international strategy is as far as how they're going to be dealing with products outside of China and in the rest of the world. We've been able to order the Aqara products from, like I said, sites like Banggood, like GearBest, like AliExpress for quite a while. You can import these, and they are definitely at an attractive price point. Last year, the Aqara line became available on Amazon.com, which is a good thing in that they are now officially available, at least in this part of the world. There is still the issue and the ongoing issue around products like the GH2, for instance. If I connect to the US hubs, the GH2 doesn't show up. So again, something to be aware of. If you are in the HomeKit camp, this is probably not going to affect you too much in that most of the devices, again, everything so far that I've tested, except for the North American plugs, are connected to the GH2 bridge, the Zigbee bridge, and exposed to HomeKit without any problems. So again, you can kind of pick on that one what you want to do. Personally, I think if you're looking for a budget range, sub-$100 camera, this is a great choice. HomeKit Secure Video is in here, so if you're in that camp, you're going to get cloud storage, local access only. It's going to only have footage into your specific iCloud account. This is all good stuff. Pair this with the Eero for HomeKit Secure networking. Even better, you can now restrict it to be only on your local network, which is good, right? Lots of possibilities here to secure it. You can go the extra mile if you want, or you can go full open up and just allow it to connect to the Aqara hubs, mainland China servers for all the functionality exposed for this camera. Let's take a look at the unboxing. The Aqara GH2 China edition. Again, this is the Chinese edition of this camera, which you can order from international sites like Banggood or GearBest or AliExpress. This is not the international edition, which will be released later this year, and we'll take a look at that as well. So this is available in multiple colors in the Chinese edition. It is a Wi-Fi 2.4 gigahertz, power, micro USB powered up to 5 volts or 1 amp. It's about 8 by 5 by 5 centimeters, more or less. This is a Zigbee hub as well as just a camera. 140-degree wide angle lens, HomeKit Secure video support, as well as local storage. So this has a lot of goodness in it. So what's great about this is that with the integrated Zigbee hub, you can reuse your existing Aqara accessories, pair them to this. So it's really more than just a camera. It really is the base of a ecosystem for your smart home if you choose to get into the Aqara camp. Let's take a look at the unboxing. As I previously mentioned, this is the China market edition. So obviously the entire box here is really going to be written in Chinese. So it is what it is. You can still tell pretty clearly, though, that it's got motion detection. It's got the camera hub functionality. The Apple HomeKit logo is there, and what is as far at least as we know right now, the colors are going to be available as well in China. Although that's not confirmed yet for the international edition. So in my case, I got the Minion here, as I like to call it, which is the little yellow guy. Looking at the parts, everything you need is definitely in the box. The 5-volt changer here with the micro USB, as well as the little the reset tool here in case you ever need to reset it, and the mounting plate here. So you're going to be able to mount this to a wall or stick it wherever you need to. 3M double-sided tape, all of that is included, which is great. Everything in the box just like we need it to be. Again, as expected, documentation here is all going to be in Chinese, and that this is the China market version. So that's one of those things that we're just going to have to kind of go by experience here. And luckily, the HomeKit experience is pretty great and consistent across the brands, across languages. So you can see here, this is plugged in. We've got our HomeKit code, and we're now going to move over and add the accessory. So full disclosure here, this camera was previously set up. I did set it up just to play around with it a little bit. And I also upgraded the firmware. So firmware update was available right out of the gate, which was kind of awesome. What's also great about this camera is that it does support HomeKit Secure video right out of the box. So honestly, you can use this just like this. You don't even have to connect it to the AQARA app at all. It is available right within HomeKit Secure video. So pair this with something like a HomeKit Secure networking, Eero, for instance, and you could really have a self-contained local-only control device with camera recording into your iCloud, which is kind of awesome. So I will put a link to a HomeKit Secure video for more information, but the short version of what you need to know is that you're going to need an iCloud account, and whether you've got the 2 terabyte account is up to 5 cameras. That's really about it. So looking here again, I had this camera already set up, and I was able to connect a couple of my existing AQARA accessories directly to this camera. So we're going to show you that at the end of the video. But in general, the setup process is pretty easy. And what's interesting, though, is that the accessories seem to be persistent. That Zigbee pairing relationship is persistent even across reboots. So I was able to get multiple accessories, including the AQARA water leak sensor, a Xiaomi button, AQARA button. But interestingly enough, I could not get the North American AQARA plug. So I'm hoping that may come in a future update, but we will see. This is not a big surprise in that the North American plug really wouldn't be used in China. And as far as the Apple certification process, you have to certify the accessories as well as the hub they're connecting to. So again, not a big surprise, not something I'm going to ding them too much for as far as the experience, but definitely something you would want to know if you're considering importing one of the AQARA China market GH2 cameras into your smart house. So one of the last things I wanted to point out here on the Apple side is something that I just found a little peculiar, and I wanted to show you guys. If you go into the buttons, you can see here that it is connected to a bridge, and the bridge it's connected to is a motion sensor. So this appears to be, the motion sensor is the motion sensor of the camera device, and that's got the 3 accessories underneath that. But if I go over to the home hubs, the bridge section in the house details, you can see here that it's not actually located, it's not detected as a bridge by HomeKit. So something just a little interesting. So moving over to the AQARA app, this is some of the things that I'm going to ding them points on. The user experience from an AQARA app standpoint is not where it needs to be. AQARA is in the process of kind of locking down their different regions a little bit, and that creates some friction in the user experience. So I'm going to go in and bind my HomeKit camera to the AQARA app, but to be able to see this and play around with it, I actually need to be connected into the mainland China region of AQARA, because this is a Chinese version camera. Now, I don't blame AQARA too much for this, and I think it's going to result in a better customer experience eventually. But for now, if you're looking at importing these, it does create some confusion. As you can see, some things just simply don't work. Bridged accessories like the North American plug aren't exposed out through HomeKit, right? So it is definitely something to be aware of if you're looking at importing this and adding this to your smart home. So in the interest of being complete with the review, I want to show you guys what happens if you log into another region other than the mainland China region. So if I was to log into the US region, for instance, it's going to then take me out. I'm going to have to go in here and re-log in. Put in my username and passwords. We'll use Face ID here. There we go. And you can see here I've got my old Aqara gateway, but I do not have the new GH2 camera. It's not showing up. If I go into HomeKit here and look at my HomeKit devices, it's showing as bound, but it's just not showing up in the interface. So for me, I believe that is because the GH2 camera, this is the Chinese edition, and it is not, of course, supported in the North American server or the US server. So the other thing we can do here is we can go and completely sign out. And if we sign out, we put the camera into basically what is HomeKit only mode, in which case we're not actually connecting to any external servers, right? So if your intention is to use the camera with HomeKit Secure Video, this is probably the mode you want to be in. Again, a little interesting here, you don't see the camera on the main page. You do see it in the accessories button here at the bottom, so you can see the camera is there. But there are things like, for instance, the more settings button just simply doesn't work at this point in time. So these are things I expect to get finished and fixed over time as Aqara has a chance to really get the international version out. All of this should be cleaned up by the time we see the camera in international Amazon stores, etc. later this year. So in the last part of the video here, I want to show you guys the super secret way of pairing devices to the camera without having to use the app, which is as easy as tapping the button 3 times on top of the gateway. And then, of course, depending on what kind of accessory you are, you may have to hold the button down or use the pairing on the inside of it, something like that, right? You can do that here. Another thing to notice here is that the camera is still in Chinese mode. So if you listen carefully, I am assuming that is Chinese for a ready-to-pair device or something like that. And then once you've done that, I'm guessing that's device paired successfully. So it may not show up in the AQARA app right away, but if we go over to HomeKit, you can see the button is already there. And if we drill down into it, you can also see that it is a Xiaomi button here at the bottom, which is kind of cool. So that's it, guys. What do I think? What do I think of this camera? Look at it. It is cute. It is so freaking cute. You can make it, your little minion. Personally, I think one of the biggest selling points of this particular camera, at least the Chinese version, is the fact that you can get them in different colors. They come in yellow, white, blue, and I think an orange color, if I'm not mistaken, right? That's going to be kind of cool if you want multiple of these around the house. You could draw little minion pants on them, all those kinds of things. What else do I think about the camera? From a technical standpoint, it seems to be good. It's 1080p, so it's definitely not in the upper range 2K, 4K cameras that we're getting, but it is HomeKit Secure Video out of the box. It is supported as an Apple HomeKit Secure Video camera, which there aren't that many on the market at the time of the posting of this particular video. So overall, I think this is probably a great deal if you're willing to put up with some of that user experience issues from an Aqara standpoint, the different region issues, as well. Definitely, you're going to have to be aware of the fact that the camera only speaks Chinese at this point in time. If that's a deal breaker for you, you might want to pass on this one. What do you guys think? Is there anything that I missed here? Any questions I didn't answer? Definitely ask those in the comments below, and I'd be more than happy to try to get answers for those questions for you. If you haven't subscribed already, do me a favor, ring that bell so you'll be notified when new videos are posted. And somewhere here, YouTube will suggest a video they think that you may enjoy next. See you guys soon.